staying over. Fucked it so long, I'm finally sober. To the edge, I've been drawing closer. Lately I'm a loner, a stoner, a loser. Yeah, I'm fucking poser, alone, life for no one. Love to like so talented, reality you've got none. I don't like to talk much, I'm honest, I'm honest. You just crave attention, that clown life is dog shit. Yeah, I really wanna fade away. Nothing really matters in the end, let me fade you in. Fade away, all that I will wreck. I just wanna find a way to make you stay, to make you stay. I just wanna levitate, don't hesitate to make you wait. I just wanna fuck you till my bones and blood disintegrate. I just wanna touch you, feel your body right next to me. I just wanna love you, wanna fuck you, wanna levitate. Levitate, I'll levitate. No matter what life is, I just come throw my way. I'll levitate, all day night I'll stay awake. Spill my fucking guts and everything I've got all on the pitch. Lost my best friend, for that it's over. So many moments never found their closure. A loner, lazy fucking stoner. Lately I've been thinking this was destined to be over. Yeah, fucking pussy, so sick listening to groaning. Back then time you man up to mistakes, now time you own them. I've been feeling lonesome, alone, and so I'm sick. Driving home reflecting past 3 months, that shit was toxic. Yeah, I'll levitate. No matter what life is, I just don't throw my way. I'll levitate, all day night I'll stay awake. Spill my fucking guts and everything I've got all on the pitch. All my life been a derelict, derelict. All my friends, they wish me dead, they wish me dead. Every day is filled with dread, filled with dread. All my life been a derelict. I've got the time swallowing me, falling into everything that I do, everything I kiss to and feel so typical. I've got the time to swallowing me, falling into everything that I do, everything I kiss to and feel so typical. Life been a derelict, never change, yeah, I swear to it. And of all the times I've been down and out, this time was different, I welcomed it. Every day that I fail to quit, I wind up here in the state I'm in. The heavy weight, cause it's bound to break, I need a break, the skin I'm in. Tip of my tongue tastes like battery acid. Try to push forward, I cannot push past it. Feel the blood on my tongue, it tastes metallic. Another day passes, I don't break the habit. I've got the typical swallowing me, falling into everything that I do, everything I kiss to and feel so typical. I've got the typical swallowing me, falling into everything that I do, everything I kiss to and feel so typical. Drag me
Yo, happy Friday, everybody. My sound is working today. Awesome. So I'm going to start today off with I just got burned on a trade. Told the students and everything that I was going to long Ethereum on this breakout. Unfortunately, looks like another scam wick. I guess we'll see coming in a day close, but not looking good. Usually, at least in my experience, usually when you break an area of supply like this, so just to show you, when you break an area of supply like this, we were decently above it, not too much, but decently above it. Usually it's a breakout. I took really low risk though. I mean, Bitcoin looks like shit. I did see that Ethereum to Bitcoin has confirmed a double bottom here. So I was really, not necessarily excited because I do want lower prices, but I was like, oh, this might be a decent trade. Went in with about 5%, had a 1% stop, ended up losing. So just opening with, yeah, guys, I'm not always right. I lose trades. I'm human too. And yeah, it sucks, but we move forward. Just make sure your risk is well managed. But anyways, happy Friday. I'm going to keep this one kind of short and sweet because I have my brother's birthday's today, and we're going to go celebrate. So it's 5:30. The daily closes in 2.5 hours. A couple things to note. Something that I guess I should have waited was for a close on Ethereum, but Bitcoin's daily looks like absolute shit. I don't like this volume. I don't like how we're stair-stepping down and prices going up. We also have the worst macro conditions ever. Now, you could compare this to, and I got questions on this, to like something like July, where we actually had like very flat volume in here as we were rising. We did have a nice double bottom here. But we had very flat volume. We also had selling volume going down. So just to give that little bit of a comparison, there were more bullish signs here. We were also in a bullish macro environment. Stocks were still making all-time highs. Stocks were still ripping upwards. So honestly, I didn't think that Bitcoin was going to go all the way to 68, 69K. To be honest with you, I did not think that. I did not think that this move should have happened. I know that was entirely based on derivatives. You can see that the volume here is awful. Some of it could have been alts keeping the value of Bitcoin up. We don't really know, but this move shouldn't have happened. Anyone that has a lot of trading experience and knows markets and how they work, this shouldn't have happened. I think it happened correlation with the stock market, derivatives trading, and ultimately just a liquidity grab by whales because they knew recession's coming, or at least someone knew recession was coming. I remember I sold my stocks last September with some maybe some insider information that I knew. But anyways, we move forward. So I'm really only going to do like crypto stuff today, not really looking at indexes. They really haven't moved at all. I know, big green day for indexes and everyone's saying, oh, the bottom's in, that data that came out on, what was that, Tuesday? CPI data that came out? Or was that Wednesday? That was Wednesday. So Wednesday, I live streamed and talk about the CPI being 9.1%, the worst it's been in 40-something years. The stock market really hasn't fallen that deep yet. And on top of that, we have every asset in all of history is at its peak. You have used cars, you have houses, you have the stock market. Crypto, somewhat, Bitcoin's 20K, and I know it's 70% below its all-time high, but crypto is going to take the biggest downside because it's a volatile speculative asset. Volatile assets, just like tech, any volatile asset's going to get hit the hardest. Be mindful, the music is unreleased. It's by my friend. He goes by Tilley Parker on Spotify. I keep telling him to release it, but he just hasn't gotten around to it yet. What's up? Yes, sir. How you doing? Working sound. Yeah, I don't know like why that happens every once in a while. It's so weird. Tether printing too. Tether printed 20 billion. Yeah, Tether did print 20 billion here, which to me was more derivatives trading because there wasn't spot accumulation. We were there. All these pumps actually got sold into. Like every single one of these pumps got sold into. To me, that wasn't bullish. Now, although there was some bullish TA, and I wish I would have held on to my. I actually did buy this. I did buy it like 41,000, like 77 or whatever my order was. And why did I do that? Because the 4 hour had a double bottom. That was clear as day. I'll even show you it here. Yeah, the 4 hour had a clear as day double bottom. This is textbook in my trading strategy, and I ended up holding it's like here. I just didn't. I mean, I saw volume going like this, and then we got this huge spike of volume here, and price rose, and that was actually because of a like $1.6 billion market order that was actually through derivatives. So ultimately, I didn't think the rest of this would happen. It did, and you know, you live and learn. Maybe I should have held the trade longer, but in my experience, we've never had a market rely so heavily on derivatives. It's mostly been spot, and now everyone's into derivatives trading, which is fine, but that doesn't really prove bullishness, because a lot of these pumps, and if I zoom out on the daily, a lot of these pumps are actually due to derivatives buying. So what they do is they pump it with derivatives, and then they sell spot at the top. Pump derivatives, sell spot, and I'm assuming now it's pumping by derivatives and selling spot. I don't see the accumulation. There's actually Bitcoin addresses with like 1 to 10K and 10 to I don't know if it's 10 to 100K, but 1 to 10K are reducing quite significantly. Would I short at 21K? Only if I see a pattern. I'm actually changing up my trading strategy here, and I'm really only trading moves that look perfect. Just because I'm sick and tired of getting scam wicked. I mean, I took a loss today, and it really wasn't significant at all. It was like $200, and I have almost a $500,000 portfolio. So for me, the loss, you know, $200 minus 500K minus $200 is not bad. But I hate losing, and I hate, you know, giving these setups to my students and they get wrecked because I know some of them go way riskier than they should. But you know, live and learn. I think I'm just gonna stick to the plan. The one thing I don't understand though is Ethereum does have like what looks like a double bottom here. So I was really enticed along this. Like there was what looked like a setup, and Ethereum to Bitcoin looks good, but Bitcoin looks awful. Well, let's go through some stuff. So DXY. Kind of rejecting. People are saying rejection, but honestly, we're still going up. I think we'll consolidate here and then continue to go up. Ultimately, I don't really see any bearishness here. I don't see a bearish reversal pattern. We actually just broke above resistance at 105. Next resistance is 110. So if you open up maybe the weekly, you can see that historically 110's been an area of both support and resistance, even all the way through the 70s. So here, breakdown, retest, another retest. We have a break up, although we did some crazy movement here. We actually broke back up, tested a support. It's some slight support here. Now it's resistance again. Kind of some support and resistance here. So 110 for me is an area of resistance. I don't see the DXY really stopping until 110, or at least making a decisive move until 110. Not going to do the total charts today. Nothing's really changed on those. But USDT.D, ultimately, a lot of people are saying this is broken down or this is bearish. This is not bearish at all. We're still holding support. We're still holding our upward trend line here. We're still in price discovery. Ultimately, what this looks like is consolidation to continue going higher, similar to the DXY. You know, you need pullbacks to continue higher. If we look at like the 4 hour, and I believe RSI was majorly oversold multiple times. So getting a reset on every indicator, and even the weekly, very, very overbought. Sorry, not oversold, overbought. Very overbought here. So some consolidation is definitely needed. I don't see any reason why this should pull back yet. We don't have any divergence. We don't have any bearish reversal pattern, nothing that tells me that this is losing any sort of steam. Now, if we lose this orange line here, then I would say, look for longs in cryptocurrency. But for now, it's just consolidating. A lot of people are saying Bitcoin's going to break the range, go up to 30K, go up to 40K, bull market's back on. Guys, the two charts you want to pay attention to are this one and then the Bitcoin chart, right? Because Bitcoin is still in a range. If I told you this is a 15-minute chart and not a daily, you would say that this is consolidation. This isn't bullishness. Ultimately, consolidation to continue our downward move, because we have consolidation several different times, right, before going down. Got caught by Ethereum as well. You think of shorting now? No, I'm not shorting unless I see a pattern, because it could still break out. I'm not saying it will, but it could. And honestly, I don't want to make an altcoin trade when Bitcoin's daily looks like this. When there's really no pattern and we're just kind of consolidating between 19 and 22K. Dow had a good run. Yeah, the Dow did have a good run, but again, just kind of consolidating in a range. This doesn't really look like bullishness to me. I'm good, bro. What about you? I'm doing pretty good, man. I'm going to go celebrate my brother's birthday today. Probably going to drink that slight Ethereum loss away tonight and just move on. I mean, but feeling pretty good. Feeling pretty good. It's a nice day outside. Risk reward isn't there for shorts. Actually, the risk reward is starting to favor shorts. So we're still in between the range. If you draw just like a midpoint line, so you'd short this, or like this is your resistance, you'd long support if we continued, bouncing like this. But for now, you actually are getting better short risk reward. My only problem is this volume. This volume on every exchange is pretty low, and even on Coinbase, like we don't even have we're just volume's just staying average. It's not breaking out. It's not showing any signs of bullishness. Again, there's really not a pattern here. If we did get something similar to, something like this, we could see Bitcoin hit like 23, like very briefly, and then go down like this. So this would be your spring to the downside. Ultimately, price is going up with volume going down. We're not seeing price make lower lows with volume going down. We're actually seeing the opposite, which is pretty bearish, at least in my opinion. I mean, we had the same thing, same exact thing here. We were making higher lows. We were making higher highs ultimately. So price was going up directionally and volume was going down. This, again, does not support that uptrend. Although it is very volatile here, very consolidation-like, it's not bullish. It's not like it was in July or May through July where price was going down and volume was going down. This is bullish. This is bearish, and I believe this is bearish. Also, our macro is horrible. Like, did you guys see the news on China that came out today? They had a GDP flop. They had the real estate market's going to absolute shit. I don't understand where all these bottom calls are coming from. We haven't even seen real fear or real pain in the U.S. yet. There are still a lot of people spending money, taking on debt, buying houses at the top of the market. Like, can you believe that? Some of my friends are buying houses right now, and I'm just questioning that decision making. Yeah, how can anyone expect to be bullish with this horrible macro? I don't know. But here's the thing, right? So our macro is going to be horrible once we bottom, and price will continue to go up while it's still horrible. But it's so horrible right now, and the Fed still has a long way to go to fix it, where how on earth can this be the bottom in any market? Plus, recession on average sees about a 40 to 50% drop in the S&P 500, and we've only dropped 20%. So for me, I think we're about halfway there, but we're not. Also, the thing is, it keeps getting worse, right? It's not like the Fed came out this week and said, "Hey, inflation data is looking better." So what I'm thinking is inflation keeps going down, right? They'll raise, here's your inflation. So here's inflation, and then here's your rate or your interest rate. So they're going to continue raising rates. Eventually, inflation's going to do this, and then probably do this, and then just do this, right? Where sorry, this should be an upward line, but inflation making economy going down. So eventually we'll do something like this, and your rates will eventually do this, and this is a bullish scenario. But for now, I think we're like right here, right? I think we're right here. I think that there's going to be a whole 100 BP rate hike. I don't think we're close to saying that this is even close to done, that we've bottomed. And for those people that are saying commodities have topped, commodities actually topped in 2008, and then the S&P 500 dropped another 30%. How about a bear market rally? I think all of this is just rally, but it's just consolidation. I paid $665K for my house in 2017. The house across the street just sold for 1.2 mil. How on earth you compare those in 5 years and think, oh, I think I'll buy now and pay out the ass and interest? Yeah, man, I don't know. But the thing is about housing is people are always going to buy houses, right? Like, although the housing market will come down and there will be great opportunities to buy houses, real estate will always maintain and gain value because it's a land, it's a house, it's there's essentially fixed supply with land, and anytime you own land, it just kind of goes up in value. Now, granted, short term, it might go down in value first before going up, but I mean, we're looking at like a 2008 scenario. People are paying double in mortgages what they were paying like a year and a half ago. It's absurd. So there's a big chance going to touch 23K. I wouldn't say there's a big chance. I think there's a possibility, but if we see, volume continue to drop here and price to continue to go up, this is just another, ultimately this is just another shitty rally. This isn't anything that to be very excited about in terms of a bottom. And even still, guys, bear market bottoms take months. Like, this is a 4 months at this level. In 2014, when we bottomed out, here's 2015. Sorry, it's 2015. We had 8 or 9 months here, and here ultimately 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, about 5 months here, and even still, all of this here is accumulation. But again, the whole time that Bitcoin was going up was a bullish macro economy. So how it will respond in the next couple months, no one really knows yet, right? Like, we're seeing it respond now, which is telling me, it's clearly not like a hedge against inflation, but really no asset is. Anything that counters the dollar, even gold, like gold dropped in value in 2008 as well. Bitcoin will go under 10K. It's a possibility. I'm probably going to start dollar cost averaging if we hit 13K. I can't imagine that, if Bitcoin's going to continue to go up, to continue to be used, it's going to be an asset that you'd want to buy 80% lower. I considered DCAing in here, but it's the macro's getting worse. It's not getting any better, right? If next month they come out and say, hey, things are starting to turn around, things are getting better, great. But the PPI, which is the producer, it's basically CPI, but the producer index was almost 12%. That is horrible. That is not good at all. That means the cost of goods being produced is going to continue to go up, which, again, this has a domino effect. If goods keep going up in value, people are going to run out of money at some point. They're not going to be investing. They're going to struggle, and things are going to get hard. And I've been saying this every single live stream for the past 4 months. Things are going to get worse before they get better. I don't think we're at a stage of getting better yet. What do you think most likely if the next hike is a full point? I think they're going to probably do a full point, then 0.75. And if it doesn't continue to look better, they'll have to do a full point again. If it's still getting worse, then they'll have to do 1.25. Klaus Schwab. Yeah, I've seen that before. I have seen that. But let's even do a deeper dive on this upward move here. So I'm looking at the 12-hour, and again, guys, this is not bullish price action, right? I mean, ultimately, you have this big candle here, but that was a volatility, and I believe this whole move is like a liquidation tactic. Now, if we come back down with lower volume here and get a double bottom, then I will certainly look for longs. But for now, I can't imagine that. I can't imagine this is just going to spike up to 30K. I've never seen an upward move without some kind of reversal pattern on Bitcoin. Historically, every bottom was usually preceded by a big rally to the upside to get hopes up. Probably. What do you think about Biden sending another billion to the Ukraine? I think we need to stop giving money to the Ukraine. Ultimately, I think we need to let the world. I think the U.S. needs to let the world handle its own problems and get its hands at everything. I have my own mixed opinions about what's happening in the Ukraine. It might upset some people, but I don't think we should be there at all. I think we should get out. I think we should take our resources out, our military bases out. I honestly think, and this is controversial, but I think Russia is defending itself. We have biotech, we have hazardous labs that could make chemical warfare or bio warfare, and they're literally pointed at Russia. We have military bases all over pointed at Russia pretty much. And I think Russia's like, I don't want to, they're almost defending themselves. Now, at the same time, I don't think anyone should be at war. I don't think anyone should be fighting. I think we just need to take our stuff out and leave. T oil covered to 40% chance of a 100-point raise. I thought it was 60. Yeah, we staged a coup in the Ukraine in 2014. Yeah, there's also a lot of money laundering apparently with the Ukraine with the whole Biden family. Yeah, the U.S. installed biolabs in the Ukraine. Yeah, it's crazy. Like, if you do research and just stop watching the news, there's some shit that no one's talking about that, everyone wants to be patriotic, and most of the time that's okay. But in this case, I don't know. I don't agree with being in the Ukraine. I don't believe supporting the Ukraine. Now, at the same time, I don't want war. I don't want Ukrainians to die. I don't want anyone to die. I think as a global entity, we need to get past this notion of war and fighting and bombing and killing innocent people. I think we need to move past that. Like, we're as a human race, I think we're more mature than this. I think we saw two of the worst wars in history, World War I and then World War II. And I think now it's time to say, hey, instead of millions and millions and millions of people dying, let's put our resources together and maybe go to space or do something or cure disease or do something better, like more productive. Would I short 22 to 23K? If there's a pattern there, I will. If there's not, I'm just going to let this run. I'm tired of taking just shitty losses because the chart is... And guys, this bear market has been one of the toughest to trade because there's been so many, I want to say scam wicks. There's been so many different just scammy things that are happening. I mean, look at Ethereum, right? Ethereum just wicked above our supply zone and pulled all the way back. And in my opinion, I think we're gonna go back down. I think we're gonna maybe retest like 1182, but we're in supply here. Nothing's breaking out yet. Yeah, the UK dollar. I've seen that as well. But back to some charting stuff. So I think we talked about, or I tried to describe earlier, that USDT. A lot of people think that this is breaking down, and it's not. For those of you that missed what I said earlier, this is holding support, and keep an eye on this, because if this does break down and maybe retest, it might be a great opportunity to long Bitcoin. We might see that rally occur. But in the meantime, for right now, nothing has changed. So this whole notion of bullishness, keep on the back burner until some things change. I told my students yesterday, whether we pump to 30K or not, there's a 10% difference between buying here and buying here, which really isn't that big of a difference. Not gonna lie, this bounce is sus. It really is. Yeah, it is. This is one of the few times I've been like, how are markets going up when macro is awful? And the only two ways I can describe it are, one, this is a liquidation tactic to get rid of all of the high leverage shorts, right? Because exchanges don't want to pay them out. Two, it's to confuse people to get them to buy near resistance again, just like they have for the last 8 months. And I'm not in agreement that this is ready to go yet. I think this pump is very weak. Looking at the 4-hour, I mean, you guys can see this pretty perfectly. We have volume now decreasing quite a bit as we're essentially going up. And this is with every exchange, right? You have volume going down now as price is going up. This type of price action does not support an uptrend, and we should continue to the downside, or maybe we go up a bit more, dump a bit, maybe do something like this, because this will create divergence. Been a weird week in all places. Yeah, it's very weird. Yeah, and a lot of people, I mean, look, unless you're trading the charts and you have the news and your Twitter turned off and you just didn't know about CPI, I guess you could make a claim that people just long support and we're hoping to make some money off of it. But very, very odd that we get a really, really awful CPI, as we have been for the last several months, and people are calling the bottom. Because you guys have to remember, CPI was the worst it's ever been here, and then the worst it's ever been here, and then here, and then here, and then here. So for me, the one thing I do notice is CPI was the worst at the tops, and now it's the worst at the bottom. So this could just be a liquidation strategy. Just keep an eye on it. But yeah, for now, I'm not really seeing a lot of bullishness. I don't understand the realm of bullishness that everyone is seeing. This market got way worse ever since FTX. Almeida got into it. FTX is the market. Yeah, I've noticed that as well. FTX is doing some pretty weird, scammy shit. The only one buying, and I'm just gonna flip back to this. If you guys look at spot CVD, the only ones buying here, FTX. The only ones buying here were FTX, and I believe Bitfinex. Bitfinex was buying a little bit, but mostly FTX. I think like 70% of it's FTX. So for me, I think it's a liquidation strategy. Do I expect a short squeeze? I actually don't expect 23K, but there's some claims about it. I mean, there could be, but I don't know. I don't know about a short squeeze. I think like intra, like trend short squeezes happen, or in long, I guess a long squeeze is the other one. So you'd have long squeezes here, short squeezes here, long squeezes here. But a massive short squeeze, I just don't see happening right now. Lower highs. What do you mean? We're making higher highs. From the bottom, we're making higher highs. Ultimately. Yeah, like what also confused me is Ethereum to Bitcoin looking pretty decent. Like this, I would consider a double bottom. We broke out and performing way better than Bitcoin, but could this be a trap because you have volume going down as prices going up here? which seems to me very trap-like. Very much, yeah, even look at the daily. Very trap-like. Maybe we have another kind of like bear flag, something like this. But we'll have to wait and see. Yeah, if it breaks down, yeah. But yeah, guys, I wanted to keep this live stream short and sweet. For those of you that don't know, and Bickett is adding trailing stop losses to their trading platform. If you use my link, you get 15% off fees. They're also doing this like new like promotional event where if you trade with up to like 1,000 USDT in volume, which really isn't much, you can win up to 1 Bitcoin, and it's like 100 people can win up to 1 Bitcoin just from the competition. I believe it's like July 17th through the 23rd, so you've got a whole week to trade 1,000 in volume. You could literally just buy and sell a trade real quick, take no risk, and you're already entered into that competition. Again, the link in the description and in the live chat will get you into that and get you 15% off fees. Is Bitcoin in a bullish or bearish pattern? This is most likely a bear flag. Until it breaks up or down, it's not confirmed, but it looks like a bear flag. It's ultimately consolidating, and consolidation usually implies continuation. So if you can see here, we actually have 4 waves of consolidation, and ultimately every single time we've consolidated, we've broken down. Yeah, Ren, that's a good idea. Just continue to be patient and wait for the market to give us a better direction. Because right now it's a lot of scammy shit. Volume's really low, and nothing really looks bullish. I mean, ultimately macro's bearish as hell, so I'm still leaning bearish. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna end it there. I've got a birthday party to get to. Have a nice weekend. Weekend usually is really low volume, so I wouldn't really pay attention too much to charts. If you're day trading, I'd just kind of stay out of it. Lots of scammy price action happens during the weekend. With all that said, please be patient, use risk management.